Good morning, Year 3. So today we have here with us Tatum, and we're going to be talking about species and how they relate to donkeys and horses. So today we are learning to identify the concept of species as it applies to horses and donkeys, and we know we are successful if we can identify the concepts of species and can successfully tell the difference between a horse and a donkey. So firstly, Tatum, have you seen a horse before, and what does it look like?
Yes, I have, and it looks like it's tall and has 4 legs and is big and it races on a track.
Yeah,
And
that's correct. Okay, so let's have a look at this picture and see if it's something like what you described. So yes, as you can see, it's tall. It has quite long legs. What do you notice about its head? Do you think it looks quite long or it's quite short?
it looks quite long.
Yeah, and what about its ears? Do you think they're big or small?
They're quite small.
Yeah, and did you notice it has quite a long tail?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Have you heard of the word species before, Tatum?
Yes, it's a group of animals that are alike.
Yeah, that's right. So the actual definition is a group of animals, plants, or living things that all share common characteristics and that are all classified as alike in some manner. We'll just place this one up here so we have a record of it. Okay, so let's look. What other animals actually do you think is similar to a horse?
A donkey.
Yeah, that's right. Can you think of any others? Have you heard of a mule before?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to bring up a picture of both a horse and a donkey, and we're going to have a look at some similarities and see if there's more similarities or if there's more differences. So here is a picture of a donkey. So we're just going to have a look at this one for the moment. So do you notice anything similar on this picture from the other one?
Their face.
Yeah, their face is quite similar. What about the ears? Do you think they're different?
Yes, the horse's shorter ears.
Yeah, the horse has shorter ears, so the donkey has longer ones. What about the legs? Do you think they're quite similar or different?
Yes, just smaller.
Yeah, maybe they have shorter legs. And what about their tail? Their tail looks quite...
Pretty similar.
I'm not sure. Maybe I think the donkey's tail looks a bit longer. Maybe it looks different. What do you think?
Pretty similar.
Okay, fair enough. We're also going to have a look at a picture of a donkey and look at the similarities and differences that we discussed before. So do you notice anything different or similar about this picture? What about the neck of the donkey?
They're pretty similar, but I think the donkey has a stronger neck.
A stronger neck? I think the donkey may have a shorter neck. I think by looking at these pictures, definitely looks stronger because it's quite thick, which is good. The tail of this donkey, what do you think about it? Do you think it looks similar or different?
Pretty similar.
Yeah, pretty similar. What about the ears of the donkey?
They're longer.
Yeah, they're quite long. What about, so compared to the horse, they're quite a lot longer? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the main physical differences and similarities that horses and donkeys have. So there obviously is a range of obvious physical similarities. Can you think of any of these? What they could be?
They both have 4 legs and long faces.
Yeah, that's right. So 2 of them are that they both have 4 legs and they have long faces. What about their ears? Do you notice anything about their ears?
They're very pointed.
Yep, and they're quite large. They both have hooves, as you can see in the picture. They both have hooves. And they have long backs with a tail at the end of them. And what about their eyes and their ears? Can you see where they are when you look at the picture? Are they in a similar position?
Yep, at the top of their head.
Yeah, and they both have something that runs down their back. Do you know what that's called?
A mane.
Yep, that's right. Cool. So those are the physical similarities. What about the physical differences? So there's many differences that exist. So donkeys have visibly longer ears, as we discussed before, while horses tend to have longer faces, as you described. So the hair making up the donkey's mane is quite stiff and bristly, whereas when you touch a horse, it's quite soft and the hair kind of flows a bit more. So donkeys have smaller hooves than horses, as you can see in the picture, and frogs of the hooves are set in a more casual caudal position. So donkeys have smaller hooves, as you can see in the picture, and donkeys' backs are more flatter than horses and most often cannot hold a saddle, so you can't actually ride donkeys, unfortunately. So what about their behaviour? So they're both very social creatures. Can you imagine do you know what a horse's behaviour is like? Have you ridden a horse before?
Yeah, some are pretty calm. They're pretty friendly.
Yeah, that's right. They're quite calm and quite friendly. They're quite relaxed animals. But donkeys, when you meet them, they're quite hard to interact with, and horses are more likely to allow you to pat them and make a relationship with them. So the main difference with horses and donkeys are actually their genetic makeup. So do you happen to know how many chromosomes a donkey has?
No.
No. Okay, well, I'll tell you. So donkeys have 62 chromosomes. What about horses? Do you know how many they have?
No.
No, so 64. So donkeys have 62 and horses have 64. So when a horse breeds with a donkey, as we said before, it can create a mule, and you can also create a hinny. So these offsprings have 63 chromosomes because they're somewhere in the middle. Okay, cool. So the last part of the lesson, we're going to do a Kahoot, just to check for your understanding and make sure that you have got all of the main points. So what I'm going to ask you to do is put in the game pin and log into your phone, and we'll just wait until the quiz comes up. Okay, so the Kahoot is finally ready. There's 4 questions. So the first question is, are horses and donkeys the same? The answers are yes, no, similar, or share some of the same characteristics. So which one do you think it is? Awesome, so you got the answer correct. So the next question is, you're winning. What does the word species mean? The answers are a group of animals that share common characteristics, animals that are from different countries, or animals that are not related at all. What do you think? Awesome, you got it right. So how many chromosomes does a horse have? This one's quite tricky. Try and remember it. 64, 62, 61, or 25?
64.
Awesome, that's right. So the final question is, how many chromosomes does a donkey have?
62.
Yep. Awesome. So that was the answer. You got them all correct. So what we're going to do now is we're going to tick off the learning intention and the success criteria because we were correct and we were successful on both of those things.